Bhagwan Shri Ramchandra ji did tapasya of Bhagwati Shri Durga and she appeared, then she told him how to do his puja. So what she says, Bhavat bhi samre Ramchandra se jay kankshi bhi anaghair upcharesu yathahair balibhis tatha. She says that, okay, if you want to do my worship during Navratras, Ashtami, Navami, Santavatsyami, Shirso, Rane. So she says, you do my puja along with Bali. You continuously do my worship till Navami along with Bali. And then on the last day of worship, you give Bali of your enemy. You give Bali of your enemy. Actually, for Rajasatta, Bali, Rajasic sadhana means for Rajasatta specifically, Bali is compulsory. Without Bali, this kind of puja cannot happen.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining our discussion today. As Raghavji said, the topic is Pashubali. It's integral, indispensable, and irreplaceable in Sanatana Dharma. Today, as you know, is our Independence Day of the Republic of India. We got political independence this day in 1947, but truthfully, until we have autonomy and autochthony and not being forced to judge our native practices by the yardstick of a foreign culture, we still do not have true independence. It may have political independence, but the spiritual independence, the intellectual independence will come only when we have the full confidence and ability to participate and continue our native traditions without being judged or without being attacked for them. It is also, by a wonderful coincidence, it is a Amavasya of the Adhik Mas today, a very special day for many forms of Devi. And so it is very fortunate that we have this opportunity here to speak with Giriratnam Mishra ji, one of the most wonderful scholars. I will start with Mishra ji's gurus. Mishra ji, you would like to say something about your gurus?
I do not think that I am capable to say anything about them. The only thing is that they continuously bless me. Pranam.
Pranam to Mishra ji's gurus for imparting this wonderful knowledge to him, which he will share with all of us. Mishra ji, as Raghav already mentioned, he's a Grihast Sadhak from Varanasi, and he's started out in the engineering sector, and now he's become a full-time author and scholar and teacher, mainly of the Tantric and Sadhana paths within Hinduism. He's given multiple talks before, and he and I got to know each other after I read one of his books a few years ago as part of my own research interests. And since then, we built a very close friendship and collaboration, and I've had the good fortune of serving as the platform upon which he's able to broadcast his knowledge, and I hope to be able to do justice to his learning even today. And that is me.
Dr. Anand Venkataramanji is a renowned neurologist of this world. He did his MBBS from AIIMS New Delhi, and then from Harvard and other institutes also he has developed various specialties in the field of neurology. He could be reached out through Twitter and email also. He too has given various lectures and speeches. I first heard him during Abhinav Gupta Jayanti when he was speaking upon consciousness with respect to Pratyabhigya and then neurology also. And that was mind-striking talk. And that only brought me closer with heart to Dr. Anand Venkataramanji. It's an honor to have a discussion with such an intellectual person today on this platform, because this kind of topic needs a wide open and a beautiful mind, which Dr. Saab has. So today, on this auspicious occasion of 15th August, the Independence Day of India, first of all, I would like to offer my tribute to Bhagwati Mahishasura who is mentioned as Rakta Priye Rakta Bhakshe Mansa Bhakshan Karani Prapannardi Hare Yuddhe Jayam Dehi Namostute. India has seen great trouble since last 1000 years and continuous invasions and intrusions from which have happened to India since millennia. But the fact is that the only thing which has made us save our culture and our dharma is our wit to fight against that. And that wit comes from our devatas, who always encourage us to fight back and do not give up. So this picture of Bhagavati Mahishasura Mardini shows the same thing. No matter how much your enemy is strong, you shall have a strong willpower. You should have determination towards your dharma. And while following the dharma, you should reply back the way they are talking. You should reply back. Today, on this auspicious occasion, first of all, I would like to pay my tribute to Bhagwan Sri Ramchandra. The essence of national integrity was first shown by Bhagwan Sri Ramchandra ji. He belongs to Ayodhya. The time he was Prince of Ayodhya. His wife was kidnapped in Mahakoshal Desh, which is Chhattisgarh right now. He collected various people from various creeds, means reach were there, Vanars were there. They belong to different regions of India. They collected all of them and then attacked on Lanka, brought his wife back. So to unite the country as a one nation, this Prince of Ayodhya had done great work in uniting entire India into one thread and then fighting back for dharma, for the sake of dharma. It was not only about Bhagavati Shri Sita. This fight was for dharma. This fight was for dharma. This was dharma yuddha. And for the sake of dharma yuddha, Shastras also say, Shastras also say that for the sake of dharma yuddha, you can also kill your enemy. You can slay your enemy. You can sacrifice them. That is what when Bhagwan Sri Ramchandra ji did tapasya of Bhagavati Shri Durga and she appeared, then she told him how to do his puja. So what she says, Bhavat bhi samre Ramchandra se jay kankshi bhi anaghair upcharesu yathahair balibhis tatha. She says that, okay, if you want to do my worship during Navratras, Ashtami, Navami, Santavatsyami, Shirso, Rane. So she says, you do my puja along with Bali. Actually for Rajasatta. Bali, Rajasic sadhana, means for Rajasatta specifically, Bali is compulsory. Without Bali, this kind of puja cannot happen. So who's Bali? First on Ashtami and Navami Sandhi, means Mahanisharatri, you shall give Bali. Then she says, Ravana se sudushta se bhuyo bhuyo dharatmana tata sandhok shade am tu pujetva vidhanatah vipulai upcharestu mans shonit kardamai tata shatru balim dadyat kritva pishtamayam. Means Navamya pujitaham tu balivir vividhairapi. You continuously do my worship till Navami along with Bali. And then on the last day of worship, you give Bali of your enemy. You give Bali of your enemy. So what is this? We will see in next slide. So in Kalika Purana, it is mentioned very clearly. Rajaputra tatha matya sachiva swapti gadaya dadyur narbalim bhupa sampatya vibhavayacha nipanumate martyam datta papam avapnuyat paplave rane vapi yathecham vidarenam yat kashit rajapurusho namya sapi kadachana. It says, if suppose the nation is in great trouble, the nation is in great trouble, there are great disturbances. When Ravana was king, entire Dandakaranya was living in great fear. Entire Dandakaranya was living in great fear. In the south of Ayodhya was Shringaverpur, where Shringi Rishi was there, and then after that entire region was under the great trouble, great fear, and the fear was of Ravana. Means half of the nation was in great fear. Upapla was there, and then the situation was to go to wage the war. There was no other option other than to wage the war, and that's what Bhagwan Sri Ramchandra did. And the Shastras say that when such a situation happens, king can do Narbali. So what is Narbali here? Narbali does not mean that you bring some human being and cut him. Narbali, what does it mean? Rajaputra tatha matya sachiva swapti gadaya means enemies. King, his son means Rajkumar, prince, then his ministers, his secretaries, his generals, all those shall be killed in the war for the sake of protection of dharma. And this is for the sake of protection of dharma, and not that just to expand your boundaries, for the sake of protection of dharma. So that is what mentioned. Upaplave ranavapi yathecham vidarenam means if there is great trouble on nation or no other chance other than doing the war, then this shall be done. So you give your heads also, and otherwise you take heads of enemy. Dharma says every single Sanatani Hindu has a right to protect his dharma. And for the protection of his dharma, he can fight also. But the fight would happen only when the king would direct. It says, "Ya kashid rajputro nanya stopi kadachan," means if someone other than king would do this, means wage the war, then he would incur sins. He would acquire sins. So, other than kings, no one can do this thing. But for the sake of protection of dharma, this shall be done. In the next slide, we will see further how it is related to this auspicious day today. The story of Baba Bandhu Singh of Gorakhpur. So, Baba Bandhu Singh was guerrilla warrior of Dumri kingdom, means he was from royal family of Dumri. His complete name was Bandhu Singh Srinath, Baba Bandhu Singh Srinath. He used to offer the heads of British imperialists the feet of Ma Bhagwati, Tarakula Devi. So her Vigrah, Shri Vigrah could be seen here in that picture. So Baba Bandhu Singh used to offer the heads of Britishers, and this happened in 18th century. This happened in 18th century, before evolution of Congress or anything else. He used to live in the forest where Bhagwati Shri Tarakula resorts near Gorakhpur, and he used to, and you could see a tree also there. The tree is also seen. The tree has specific significance. We will take it up later. So he used to offer the heads of Britishers, capture and kill, the feet of Ma Bhagwati. And so when Britishers captured Baba Bandhu Singh, he was hanged 6 times, but every time the rope would break. Whenever he would be hanged, rope would break. So when he was hanged 7 times, prayed to Ma Bhagwati, "Hey Ma, mujhe mukti do. Oh mother, please give me liberation." Then on 7th time, when he was hanged, the tree which we have seen just now fell. I mean, now it might be regrown due to the sapling, but the tree that time fell. And when the tree fell, the head of Sri Vigrah also broke, and blood fountain started coming out of the head of Bhagwati Shri Tarakula Devi. And on 7th time, he was successfully hanged. So this is very famous incident, very famous story in that entire Gorakhpur region. And today on auspicious occasion, my holy tribute to Baba Bandhu Singh Ji. He was a great Shakta Sadhak. He was a great freedom fighter who had shown us the path how to protect our country and our values, our dharma and our culture. The role of such leaders is substantial, and all others were in supportive role. And it is it's a sad news today. In this Tarakula Devi Mandir, now someone has filed a case in court to stop the Pashubali. Even today also Bali is going on, but someone has filed a case in the court to stop the Pashubali because they are ignorant and they do not know the significance of Bali. I would like to tell you, it's a live example. Nepal has never been encroached by any outsider. Means Mughals did not invade Nepal. Then even Britishers did not invade Nepal. Why? Because they follow these traditions as they are. Shri Swamiji Maharaj Datiya has written various articles which are compiled in Lake Sangra. This is the book. In some of his articles, he has clearly mentioned that since the time we have stopped Pashubali, we are invaded first by Yamans and then by Britishers.
And that was a very good point you had made, Mishraji, that sometimes, the way that our history is told of how we got independence, the people who are highlighted are often maybe people who only did supporting roles or kind of, were propped up by the British in many ways. But the actual history of people such as Baba Bandhu Singh, who have done such extraordinary work for the country and for Dharma, have really been suppressed and nobody is telling them. And so that actually comes to the purpose of us giving this talk. So I would say there's 3 main reasons we decided to come up with this talk. One was to raise awareness about this very important issue of Pashubali, counter some of the false arguments that have been put against it, not just from non-Hindus, but even from Hindus, perhaps somewhat misguided Hindus, and from secular people, so-called secular people, and also to collate resources for future debates and potentially even for legal purposes. So we will have a lot of text on the screen. I know sometimes that can get distracting for people who are listening. But please understand that the goal of that is to make it easier in the future when somebody wants to refer to this talk to understand and track down what parts of our Shastras and other texts have talked about Pashubali. So, and of course, the particular prompt for this talk at this time is that there has been a step up in the public activity against Pashubali and targeting temples, mandirs, kshetras where Pashubali is happening in particular. Public sentiment is being whipped up against Pashubali, and this has, of course, been going on for several decades. They couch it in the language of animal rights and progress and anti-superstition. And sometimes, if it is coming from ostensibly Hindu people, they say that Pashubali is black magic and non-Vedic and non-Hindu. And, you know that these people have a sly and kind of evil intentions, because they then try to bring foreign backers to effect legal and administrative change in India on Hindu temples. So it's not coming from a good part of their heart. They're coming at it as an attacker would. And of course, Mishra ji and I have both been raised and brought up in vegetarian families. So it's obviously not the case that we are here to talk about Pashubali because we enjoy killing animals or anything of that nature. We are both animal lovers, as I'm sure all of you are. And let me give you an example of what I've been talking about. This is an article from the British newspaper, The Guardian, in 2014. The photograph is of an important Shakta religious ritual procession in Nepal, Gadi Mai. And the interview is of a anti-Bali activist from Nepal. And what has she said? The involvement of the international community is crucial to the campaign's success. Campaign meaning the campaign against Pashubali. The support of the world at large will act as a catalyst by creating an atmosphere of shame among those who continue to sacrifice innocent creatures and motivate lawmakers to introduce a legal and administrative framework. The movement is already gaining momentum and will continue to grow after images from the killing fields of Gadimai are broadcast across the nation and the world. So you can clearly see where these people are coming from. They hate the native rituals, and they will take the help of anyone, even an outsider or an enemy, to destroy and undermine the people who are conducting it. And here's the most important part of the story. The person who was interviewed here is a member of the Nepalese royal family. So while, like previously Mishra ji has been saying that, there's a responsibility of the king and the royal family to uphold these traditions, in this terrifying and sad case, like a member of the royal family, a close family member, is actually going around seeking foreign support to destroy what has been held up by her ancestors for so long. And, as Mishra ji mentioned, the attacks on the specific Hindu rituals have the goals of destroying the national spirit, weakening our backbone, and render us unable to fight back if and when an invasion or an attack comes. We know this, and we know that this is the purpose because the Hindu rituals alone are being targeted. It is Pashubali in Hindu temples alone that is being targeted. No other animal sacrifice. As you know, many other religious communities also perform those, but it is only targeted at Hindu rituals of Pashubali. It's not even targeted at meat eating. Like, if essentially a Pashubali involves offering the Pashu to the Devta and then consuming it as prasad. So nobody has a problem with the actual slaughter of animals for consumption because that is going on. However, it is that single step of offering it in front of the Devta that is being targeted by these legal and political and media machinery. And as you may or may not be aware, these attacks on very specific Hindu rituals follow a very time-tested modus operandi. It's not haphazard. It is not scattered or random. They specifically identify certain weak spots, and we know that that is what that can be used to undermine the greater civilization. I give here an example of what happened in a fellow society. This was the Roman Empire back in the 4th century. As you know, there was a lot of devtas which were worshipped in multiple ways. Similarly, one of the early emperors there who had converted to Christianity, he instituted severe legislation against paganism in the empire. I can move this talk here. He saw practices like public and private sacrifice, the decoration of sacred trees, and the creating of turf altars made treasonable crimes. So, what is happening now has been done many times in the past, and we all know what was the effect, the end result of this anti-Bali activism in the Roman Empire hundreds of years ago. And then I will show you what is happening in modern day India is more or less the same thing. As you know, there was this movie called the Kerala Story. What is the Kerala Story was about, of course, like sending of young Kerala girls for ISIS and jihad. But there is an equally bad situation that has been happening in Kerala with regard to Pashubali. They had a law passed in 1968 with the support of the communist government there, specific to the state of Kerala. This law specific to the state of Kerala prohibits the sacrifice of animals and birds within the precincts of temples, only temples, as you know. No person may officiate at, perform, or participate in an animal sacrifice. It is a criminal offense. Now, if this was coming from a place that they are just worried about the animals and want to do good for the animals and keep them from being hurt, that is at least logically consistent. However, what is not logically consistent is what the rest of society is allowed to do in Kerala, which is this. Like when there is a ban on slaughtering of cows, which are considered a religiously important animal in all of India, in Kerala, people are conducting beef festivals in public. So that is okay, but sacrificing as part of a religious ritual in a Hindu temple, something that has been carried out for hundreds of years, is somehow illegal and it turns you into a criminal. And not just that, it's not just Kerala, as you know. This is the data from food delivery apps such as Zomato and Swiggy. Every other day there is articles saying that the number one most ordered dish in takeaway and food delivery apps is biryani. People are saying, oh, biryani should be India's national dish because it is like cultural integration and every part of India has it. Not things like khichdi, which is kind of boring, but biryani is so exciting and nice. So what kind of biryani you think these are? It's not like paneer biryani or tofu biryani. So if all of this is acceptable, why specifically target a religious practice which is done by a minuscule number of people? Across the world, nearly 100 billion animals are slaughtered for meat every year. And how many Pashubalis do you think happen? Probably less than 0.1% of that.
Dr. Saab has very nicely and intelligibly showcased the problem which we are facing right now. And India means it's a clear demarcation of injustice which is happening due to, and the basic reason behind is that Hindus succumb. When a question comes to them in terms of Karm Kand, the biggest question which is raised against Hindus is that they have so much Karm Kand. Even I also face such questions. So the clear answer, so the very basic and very basic raw answer which I give to this question is that other religions have different ideology. Then the ideology is that you wait in graveyard till the time doomsday come, Qayamat ki raat, Qayamat ka din, and then Allah would decide. God would decide what would happen to you, what would be your destiny, because as per your karma, as per your karma. But here in Hindu Dharma, it's not like that. Here can be Jivan Mukti, means you can attain liberation while being in this body only, or is that after death also. So it's like if suppose you have to travel to nearby place, you can walk. But if suppose you have to travel to a distance, means 2-3 kilometers, you can go by a motorcycle or by a scooter. But if suppose you have to go 60-70, you will go by car. And if you have to go to USA or UK, go by aeroplane. As your vehicle would become, as the distance would increase, your vehicle will become more complicated. You cannot say, okay, I want to go to UK or US, an aeroplane only, but the cockpit of aeroplane should be like that of a cycle. Means I would pedal and then aeroplane shall fly and I can go to US or UK. If you will see, if you get a chance to look inside a cockpit, you would see that thousands of buttons are there. If not thousands, hundreds of buttons are there. And it's not possible for a layman to fly an aeroplane. So likewise in Hindu Dharma also, there is no question of waiting till Qayamat, means Pralay. Before Pralay also you can get liberation. Immediately you can get liberation. And there are various practices for that. So because the journey is of far away, it's of liberation, then that's why your vehicle is complicated. That is the basic thing. The second thing, why Hindus succumb is because they do not know the logics behind Karma Kand. Because we do not know what are the logics behind Karma Kand, and that's why when someone raises questions, sometimes those even who are virtuous in terms of dharma and sadhana also start laughing or making comment publicly to show that they are okay, they are progressive, they are of progressive mindset. I have seen these things happening in closed society where people would laugh and okay, they would also crack the jokes. But the fact is, when they would come back home, they would start doing sadhana and they would call Panditji, okay, just tell me what is right muhurt for doing this thing, that thing. So that is why we succumb, because we do not know that what are the logics. So in order to understand the logics, we shall have, as it is written, through better communication of the scripture and traditional backing of rituals, why the rituals are done, so that we can realize that this is an, although it is an orthodox tradition, but it is unbroken tradition. This is not vernacular tradition, not space-time based tradition. It's a tradition which we are following since time immemorial, and we have various reasons. So the scripture which talks about the rituals of Karma Kand is known as Jaimini Mimamsa Sutra. Unfortunately, now Mimamsa Darshan has become so obsolete in terms of study that you would be surprised to know that Jaimini Mimamsa Sutra has a commentary of Shabar, Maharishi Shabar Muni, which is known as Shabar Bhash, and there is no printed version of its translation available right now. Only one English translation was done, that was done by Dr. Ganganath Jhaji, and that is out of print. No printed version of it is available right now. Then Hindi translation is not available at all. No one has attempted Hindi translation. Various Sanskrit commentaries are there on it. And what is the reason behind? Because we have given up this studying this Mimamsa Sutras. Since last 100 years somehow, due to revolution of Vedanta across the world, Maharishi Swami Vivekananda ji has done immense work in that field. Then Maharishi Chinmayanand ji, so many Siddha Mahatmas and Mahapurushas have spread the message of Vedanta. But for the Vedanta, if suppose I say karmanye vadhikarasya ma phaleshu vadachana, Gita is Vedanta. So you do your karma, but detach from its result. How it can be done? An ordinary person, not even ordinary person, a person who is a virtuous and dharmic person cannot do this simply. And to be at very basic level, I'm not talking about Paramhansa sthiti, state of Paramhansa. I'm talking about very basic thing. If suppose there is a student who is continuously studying daily, and he has prepared his entire syllabus properly, he would not be worried. He would not be worried about his exam result. Means and what is the reason? Because he has profoundly done his karma. He has profoundly done his karma. And on another side, there is another student who has not studied properly at all, would certainly be worried about his result. What would be the result? And we are in this world and we are waiting for a result. In Sanatan Dharma, everything is revolving around karma and its result. Karma vipak is there, then mantra sadhana, so many options are there to do karma vipak. But karma and its result are there. So if you are doing your karma profoundly, then only you would be free from the, your mind would be free from the results. Otherwise, it is not possible. So what is karma? Say athato dharma jigyasa. The first sutra of first Jaimini Mimamsa Sutra is athato dharma jigyasa. So dharma, what is dharma? Karaniya. Here karaniya, whatever has to be done, that is dharma, as per Mimamsa Sutras. So that is Purva Mimamsa. Uttar Mimamsa is Vedanta. So in Purva Mimamsa, you are told that what karma has to be done, how it is done, and why it shall be done. And what is the reason behind doing this thing? These 4 questions are answered, and the scripture is known as Jaimini Mimamsa Sutra. Every single aspect of dharma would be found there. Shoda Sanskar, your Yajna Vidhi, even philosophy is also there behind them. Why? What means if suppose something is done, why it is done? That scripture is of utmost importance. That is very foundation book of Hindus. And due to destiny, I would say fate, somehow we have detached ourselves from this Mimamsa Sutras, Dharma Sutras, because of various revolutions going around. Swami Ramakrishna Paramahansa, he himself was he was a pujari, archak, acharya at Sri Dakshineshwari Kali Mandir. He used to do puja. There are various incidences where Swami Sardanandaji has mentioned in his biography that whenever he would do nyas, Swami Ramakrishna Paramahansa would realize that while invoking nyas on fingers or a hard mish karna, shadang nyas, etc., or matrika nyas, etc., he would feel like his locks are opening continuously. Bhut Shuddhi, he practically realized Papa Purush came out of his body, then Shiv came out of his body and he killed Papa Purush by Trishul. While sitting under the while sitting in Panchavati, he realized this thing. So these are the facts by which means Swami Vivekananda, Guru of Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda himself used to do all this thing. He with Jagran. Now Jagran is very famous in India. What is Jagran? Swamiji and all his friends used to do mantra jap throughout night. That was Jagran, and that is true Jagran. Nishabhedan. Nishabhedan means continuously doing mantra jap throughout the night. That is Jagran. So karma is there. Even Swamiji has done the karma. Vedant is there. Vedant is ultimate result. It's like when father says that, okay, you keep studying hard, one day you would become this, and you would enjoy your life. Even in Shastras also, it is said, Vidya dati vinayam, vinayam dadati patratam, patratva dhanamapnoti, dhanam patratva dhanamapnoti, dhanam me tatsukham. Means, Vidya dadati vinayam, vinayam dati patratva means by Vidya you would become polite, and by politeness you would get some position, and by position you would earn money. And by that money you would enjoy in this world. This is Niti Shastra Vachan. Shastra Vachan is there. But without karma, it is even when we say Shravan, Manan, and Nidhyasan. In Vedanta Marg, we say Shravan, Manan, and Nidhyasan. Shravan means to listen. That is verb. To listen means verb. Then to meditate, Manan, to meditate, and Nidhyasan, to realize. All these things are Kriya, verb. Karma is there. So karma is ultimately everywhere. Karma is ultimately everywhere. Even if you say, I will read Brahma Sutra and I will follow the way, so that also is karma. But Chitta Shuddhi, how Chitta Shuddhi would happen? Chitta Shuddhi would happen when you will do righteous work, Dharma Karya. And how to decide? Because if suppose I say, okay, you start doing Dharma Karya, so it would be tough to find, years would pass on to decide that what is Dharma Karya and what is Adharma. So in order to make all these aspects available, Maharishi Jaimini, who himself is Shishya of, a son of Veda Vyas, wrote Mimamsa Sutras. This Mimamsa Sutra is older than Mahatma Buddha. Older than Mahatma Buddha. And this Mimamsa Sutra considers Veda as eternal, apaurisha, etc. And it is primarily focused on karma part. So Brahman part. Veda is divided into three parts. Samhita, Brahman, Samhita and Brahman. Then Brahman again is divided into Veda is divided into two parts, Brahman and Samhita and Brahman. Then Brahman has three parts, Brahman, Aranyak, and Upanishad. Brahman is for Grihasthas. Aranyak is for Vanaprasthis, and Upanishad is for Sannyasis. Broadly, Upanishad is for Sannyasis, those who have to give up this world. If suppose all of us become Jivan Mukta, what would happen? What would be the state of world? There would be no human race at all till 100 years. Because everyone is Jivan Mukta, Karma Bandhan se Mukta. Naishkarma Siddhi. Naishkarma Siddhi, if happens, what will happen? Naishkarma Siddhi will. So everyone would be free of Karma Bandhan. No one would have to do any karma. Even in Gita also, Bhagwan Shri Krishna has given a very beautiful message that I am free of all karmas, but then also I do karma. And he also says that how to live when you have become Jivan Mukta. So he says, Bhagwan Shri Krishna says in Gita that you live like a normal human being in this world. Ishavas Upanishad says, Tena Tyaktena Bhungjitha, means you live in the world the way people live, but don't have longing for worldly objects. Means till the time you are in the world, you have to do karma. Abhinav Gupta also says in Tantra Lok that if suppose you have attended Anupaya, what shall be done? So Acharya Vinogupta says that after attaining Anupai, do Lok Sangra. So karma is there. Even if someone, Lok Sangra means social welfare. You have become Siddhi, you do social welfare. You have become Shiv, Parmeshwar Shiv. What to do? You shall do social welfare. Lok Sangra, you do Lok Sangra. That's what he says. So karma is there for everyone. So what karma has to be done? That is given here. I would give you an example of Swami Vishuddhananda Paramahansa, Guru of Mahamahopadhyay, Padma Vibhushan Mahamahopadhyay, Gopinath Kaviraj ji. He was Paramahans. He is Paramahans. There is no doubt. Gurus are always there. So using was for him is a sin. So Shri Swami Vishuddhananda Paramahansa ji is Paramahans. But when it comes to karma, he followed every single aspect. I would give you a beautiful example of him. Once his family guru came. Family guru means they have the tradition in specifically in Bengal, so where every family has a guru family. So that family would give mantra. So family guru means son of his father or grandfather's guru came to his house. And some celebration was going on. Swamiji was sitting in it's in cities of Kashi. His Vishuddhananda Kanan. He was sitting in his veranda and he was waiting for son of his guru. When son of Swami Vishuddhananda Paramahansa Purna Siddha. He was Purna Siddha at that time. Gopinath Kaviraj and various other scholars of India were his disciples, pupil. But he was waiting for son of his family guru. He did not get any mantra from them. He got all the mantras, every sadhana from, he got all his mantras in Gyanaganj. But he was waiting for him. When he came, he stood up from his chair, he did namaskar to him, offered him chair, offered him food. When he ate his food, then Swamiji took his food. And then he offered him clothes, everything, dakshana, everything, did pranam to him. So even after being Paramahans is not bound to do any. Paramahans means free of karma bandhan. Whatever he does would not incur any sin or any punya, papa punya mukta. But then also he was doing karma. So but the fact is that nowadays, who lost traditions, lost guru paramparas. In Sanskrit, Uchchinna Guru Parampara. We do not know what to do. And while reading and listening to Vedanta lecture here and there, people think like, okay, Chitta Shuddhi is enough, nothing else is required. But how Chitta would become Shuddha? Would it become Shuddha when you will go to shopping mall? You would do gossip with your family members? Or would it become Shuddha when you would watch cinema? Or you would continuously speak publicly here and there, or you would scroll Twitter and troll someone or get trolled on Twitter? No. By these means, you would never get Chitta Shuddhi. These are called as Uchchar. Uchchar means distraction of mind. Uchchar means distraction of mind. They are only causing distraction. For Chitta Shuddhi, Shuddha Karma shall be done. Chitta Shuddhi, Shuddha Karma shall be done. And suppose you do mantra jap for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, or 1 hour, whatever time. So that continuous mantra jap would start purifying your chitta. So sputtam, then it would be in nirvikal state. Sattark would invoke. Sattark means Shuddha Samvid would invoke, and at that time you would get abode of Sadguru. So that is Shaktopai. And these Mimamsa Sutras, whatever karma kant is mentioned, that is Anavopai. So that time you would reach to Shaktopai state. But then karma shall be done. And that karma has been that karma has been ignored by us. We have ignored the karma. And not only karma, we have reached to a dangerous mark. We reached to a dangerous mark. I am sure that amongst the virtuous people of India, those who know about names of various scriptures, most of them might not be aware of Jaimini Mimamsa Sutras. I have those Mimamsa Sutras available with me right now. They are in Sanskrit only. English translation is not available. This is not written by anyone. Someone attempted a few chapters. Musal Gaonkar ji has attempted a few chapters of it. No one else has attempted. The book is lying here. And a few hagiographs are also written. But no one even bothers what is there in Mimamsa Sutra. So karma is very important. And this Mimamsa Sutra has a long tradition. It starts from Brahma, Then from Brahma to Prajapati, Prajapati to Indra, Indra to Brihaspati, Brihaspati to Vyas, and Vyas to Jaimini. Jaimini quotes name of his 8 previous acharyas who are Badrayan, Badri, Aitishayan, Karshnajani, Lavukayan, Kamukayan, Atreya, and Alekhan. This is Guru Parampara, means before Jaimini it had a great tradition. What Jaimini did was that he made a proper structure of these sutras in the order of doing Karmakand. In the order of doing Karmakand, he made a proper structure. He made a proper structure of the sutra, means the way Karmakand starts from very basic, from Sandhya to up to all the kind of shouting. Jaimini Mimamsa Sutra basically deals with Vedas, Vedic Karmakand. So up to big yajnas, Ahin, etc., and then Satra also, all Som Sanskars are covered in it. But that is in structured manner. Then how to do, why do, what to do. All these questions are answered here. Now this, if suppose there is any doubt on any word of Ved, see, all like Max Muller and so many other people who have translated the Ved in recent times are not aware of Mimamsa Sutra either, or they ignored it. Like if you would read the authentic commentaries on Ved which are written by Sayan and then Mahidhar on Shukla, Yajurveda, which we would take up right now, immediately, means within few slides, you would see that these commentaries are based upon Mimamsa Sutras. Because that time, when Ved was primary text of every Sanatani Hindu, these sutras were composed. So the meaning of every single complicated word is given there. By the virtue of time, the meaning of various words have changed, or various words have various different meanings also. Various words have different meanings also at a time. You would find this in dictionary also, that various words have different meanings also. So at that time, what was the specific meaning, and what is written there, that could be assessed by Mimamsa Sutras. Not only here, Nyaya, Vyakarana, Sahitya, Sankhya, Yoga, Tantra, Jyotish, Sangeet, Bhakti Shastra, and Dharma Shastra. All these scriptures find their base in Mimamsa Sutras. All these scriptures, because they all are Vedic, Astic Darshan. So they all find their background, their base foundation in Mimamsa Sutras. If there is any conflict in Nyaya, Vyakarana, Sahitya, Sankhya, Yoga, Tantra, Jyotish, Sangeet, Bhakti Shastra, and Dharma Shastra, then that conflict can easily be resolved using these Mimamsa Sutras. And then Ved and then Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra means where Dharma Sutras, there are Smriti Granthas are there, then Nirnaya Injections, so many Dharma Shastras are there. Dharma Shastra means what has to be done in what way. Family rules, civil rule, criminal procedure, then 16 Samskar, Prayashchit, Vipak, Utsav, all these topics are covered in Dharma Shastra. So in order to assess what, if suppose there is any Dharma Sankat, so Ved has to be assessed in case of Dharma Sankat. So for assessing Ved, the Mimamsa Sutras are very important. And these Mimamsa Sutras are considered important by Gautam, Vasishtha, Apastam, and then commentators like Medhatithi is on Vedanta Sutra, supreme commentator is considered as Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharya. Like for Mimamsa Sutra, it is Shabar Muni. Same way, Medhatithi is for Manusmriti. Then Vigyaneshwar, Madhvacharya, G. Mutban, all these great scholars have considered Mimamsa. Even Adi Shankaracharya also has quoted it. He also quoted it, have discussed about it. We will see all these things later on. These are the chapters. There are 12 chapters in Mimamsa Sutra. So, I have given the name here, and there is no need to enter in it. I wanted to give this detailed introduction so that people know that, see, why do we succumb on our karmakand, not only on Pashubali, any karmakand. Suppose someone is doing puja, some kind of puja offering, why you are doing this, why you are offering continuously throwing water, why you are continuously throwing rice. What is the use of rice? Why can't you use pulses? All these questions, philosophical background, logical background, social background, all these questions in as per all the platforms are answered in Jaimini Mimamsa Sutras. So these are the 12 chapters. Bhagwan Ramanujacharya says that there are 16 chapters, 4 are Devta Khand, so I am not entering into that. In general, people say that the biggest allegation against Pashubali is that it is Ved by. It is not accepted by Ved. That is what we listen to quite often. Even few scholars who come up say the same thing, that okay, it is Ved by, this is Pap, or this is Tamasic something. So now my attempt is to give the command as to where and in what manner this kriya of Pashubali, specifically Pashubali, is mentioned in Ved. So in a Vedic tradition, Bali is done during Shraut Yajna. Shruti means Ved, Shruti means Ved. So Vedic Yajna are known as Shraut Yajna. So there are 3 types of Shraut Yajnas, which are Ishti. Ishti means Kamya Prayog. Like put Mitra Vindeshti. If suppose you don't have any friends, so Mitra Vindeshti can be done. And a Putra Kameshti, for the desire of son, that Ishti is done. Anteshti. Anteshti means last Ishti, Antim Samskar. So Ishti means done for the with any desire. Any Shraut Yajna done for any with desire is known as Ishti. Then Pashu Yajna. Pashu Yajna, and then there is Som. So Pashu Yajna is Swatantra Yajna Samstha, but in Som Yajna also Pashu Yajna is done as a part of ritual. So independent Pashu Yag is known as Nirud Pashubandh. Nirud Pashubandh is independent Pashu Yag, where Nirud means without intestine. So the animal which is first sacrificed, and then its intestine is removed, because intestine comprises of impurities, undigested food, etc. So that is removed. So removing Nirud means without intestine. So that animal is offered. And then the Shraut Vidhi of it are given in various Shraut Sutras. Mimamsa Sutra also talks how, why, what, etc. Then Shukla Yajurveda is mantras also. And if you would like to look for evidence, you will see that the mantras are given in proper order in Shukla Yajurveda. For example, if suppose you have to do Panchopchar Puja, so Pushpam Samarpayami, Pushpam Samarpayami, Dhupam Samarpayami, Deepam Samarpayami, Naivedyam Samarpayami, Kartikyam Samarpayami, like this. So these would be written in sequential manner, so that one who is doing puja can do it. The same way in Shukla Yajurveda, in Pashubandh section, all these things are mentioned. All these mantras are written in proper manner. These are few sutras which are mentioned in Jaimini Mimamsa Sutras. Apart from it, there are numerous sutras which refer to Pashubali, but Mansam to Samniyam Chodana Vishesha. So it talks about 36 samvatsar long Shakta Yajna. For these Shakta Yajnas, for that Shakta Shraut Yajna, which continued for 36 samvatsar and was samvatsar is ani, that also is sutra. So samvatsar is ani, that kind of sutra is there in Mimamsa Sutras. Means samvatsar means a day also. A day also is samvatsar. So 36 days in that way. So it was divided into 4 parts, means 4 equal 9999. And in that Shakt Shraut Yajna, it is there is a saying in Tande Mahabrahman, I would read that, which says that by the help of this Navratra sadhana only, Prajapati was able to create. Prajapati was able to create. That is mentioned here. Navratrena Amritatvam Prayachat. Tanya Mahabrahman says Navratrena Amritatvam Prayachat. This is referred to Tanya Mahabrahman only. Tanya Mahabrahman, that Shakt Yajna is mentioned in detail. Tanya Mahabrahman is called as Mahabrahman because it's huge Brahman Granth and belongs to Samaved. It's of Samaved. So in that, these things are mentioned. Then later on, few more sutras are there which talk about this thing. So these are some sutras from from Jaimini Mimamsa. So here in Katyan Shraut Sutras are SOP. Shraut Sutras work as SOP. Previously, in initial days, people were well versed. They had great intellect before Kali Yuga. But as the Kali started, the intellect started shrinking. So for that purpose, rishis have written various sutras, etc., which are known as Anga. So Kalpa Sutra, so amongst Kalpa Sutras, one is Shrauta Sutra. So in Katyan Shrauta Sutra, 6th chapter, first Kand, there are 3 important sutras, which are amongst one. First one is Pashvidya Samvatsare Parabhishri. Means, if suppose someone is doing Agnihotra, someone has done Agnyadhana and is doing Agnihotra, and has done Chaturmasya also. So he shall do 2 Nirulu Pashubandha in rainy season. Or one in during Uttarayana, one during Dakshina, means summer and winter solstices. So that's what is. And Griheshu means like Avrittin Mukhayorva means the same thing, and then Griheshu means within home. In his home only, Agnihotri shall do these things. Then in same chapter 5th Kand, Tasmin Nenam Nignati Pratyah Shiras Mudak Pada, means here it is said that the head shall be slayed. Means this sutra specifically tells that how the Pashu shall be slayed. Then the next sutra, the mantra of Shukla Yajurveda, which shall be recited at the time of this Bali, is given. So in Shukla Yajurveda, Gritaya Nakto Pashu Kreya Tata Revati Yajmane Priyam Dha Avisha. So while doing this Pashubali, Yajman is asked to contemplate upon Devata and think that his Atma is one with Atma of that Pashu. And Pashu, who is bound in Pash, is cut, is liberated, and by that his soul also liberates. This kind of thought shall be there in the mind of Yajman. And who is Yajman here? Agnihotri is there. So this mantra is recited at the time of doing this Nirulu Pashubandha. This is specific mantra which is done at the time of Bali. Then there is long procedure after that. Yajman Patni is asked to purify its eyes, ear, etc. Then its intestine are removed, and Vapa is extracted from its body, and various limbs are offered in Yajna. Another question comes, means people say that Upanishad is very important and these Mimamsa, etc. So Upanishads also talk about Bali. And philosophy of Bali is given in Brihadaranyaka, because Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is last chapter of Shatpat Brahmana. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is last chapter of Shatpat Brahmana. So in first chapter, first two sections are known as Ashwamedha and Ashwamedha Brahmana. Ashwamedha and Ashwamedha Brahmana. So in Ashwamedha, Ashw is said to be a representation of time. That's what is written, mentioned here. Om Usha Vaswase Ashwase Medhasya Shiraha, means Usha means morning time. Suresh Chakshur, sun is eye, Pran is Vaishwanar, his Pran is Vaishwanar, Samvatsar is Atma, means the year. That year means this 2000 Samvatsar is his Atma Ashwase Medhasya, that way. And then it says that sun rising up is upper part of Ashwa body of Ashwa, and lower part of Ashwa is dusting sun, means sun which is coming down. This is mentioned here. The limbs of horse are representation of time and creation. Actually, Ashwat means to swell. This concept is exact what Kaulacharyas say. Kauliki Shakti means one who does Ashyani Bhav. Kauliki means Ashyani Bhav. When the word has to be created, Shakti swells herself, because there is nothing else apart from Matri Klipte Devasa Tatra Vapushyanam. So Shakti reflects everything in herself. Or you can say she swells herself. Or you can say she impregnates herself, but she never conceives, because there is nothing outside her from where she can conceive. So that is Kaul concept also. Kaul concept here. What is Kaul concept? Ashwat means Ashan swells. So that is mentioned in Ashwamedha Brahmana. Here in Ashwa Brahmana, it is mentioned that Ashwa is representation of time and creation. So Desh Advan Kaladhvar there. when you are free from time, you would become immortal. And when you are free, means time immortal, and space means all pervasive, omnipresent. You would become omnipresent means all pervasive. So in next slide, we will see what is mentioned there in Ashwamedha Brahmana. It says, so akamat medhyama idam syat atman vyanen syamiti. It says in Ashwamedha Brahmana, Prajapati thinks of creating the world. Means now Prajapati comes into picture in Ashwamedha Brahmana, and he desires. What does he desire? He desires to do a yajna. He desires to do a yajna, and at that time his body starts swelling. Ashwat means his body starts swelling. When his body starts swelling, what happens when his body starts swelling? He gives up that body and decides that he will sacrifice that body, which has Ashwat means which has swollen, and sacrifice it during yajna. During yajna he will do. So that the similar concept is there in Kaula Darshan also, Vishwamedha, to offer everything. So that's what he decides, that his body is Ashwa, that Ashwa means his body which has swollen, and it shall be sacrificed so that he can again become one with God. So in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it is mentioned that the one who understands this logic, becomes one with Devata, attains Advaita Siddhi. What does it say? Nainam mrityum apnoti mrityurasyatma bhavate tasam devatanam eko bhavati. Devatanam eko bhavati. Once the yogi realizes this thing, he becomes one with Devata. So this Ashwamedha, Ashwa is horse, traveling of horse across the nations, is representation of all pervasiveness of Ashwa, because everything is representation of all pervasive creation. It's going and coming back. That period of time is representation of Kal. That is representation of Kal. And then his offering. Your horse, your victorious horse has come back. And that horse is offered, means it's like a trophy. And what you did with your trophy, you offered in the yajna. You offered that in the yajna. You offered your trophy in the yajna. That horse which came back after winning all the countries, which has shown that all pervasive state, that all the regions belong to you, and that trophy you have offered in the yajna. So this Ashwamedha, such yajnas trigger the consciousness in a manner that, okay, this karma can't, because see, it is not possible to enlighten an ordinary person. So by some nidan, by some practices, they are enlightened. So for this Ashwamedha, this is the concept. And likewise, there are concepts for other yajna, Rajasuya, Nirudu, Pashman, for all the things. For all the yajnas, there is some philosophy, there is some darshan behind. Like we have here, like Ashwa has come back and it's like a trophy and you've offered it. Whatever has been achieved has been offered in the yajna. And what would happen then? You would become one with Devata. And that only is Advaita Siddhi. That's what is mentioned here. Devata Nam Eko Bhavati. When you realize this thing, the real purpose of Ashwamedha, you become one with Devata. So these continuous karma kand, what they do, they refine your consciousness, your chetana. As I've said initially, that people say that chitta shuddha hona chahiye, means inside inner purity is required. So how inner purity would happen? Inner purity would happen when the karma, righteous dharma based karma would be done. Pashu yajna is going on since time immemorial. Shatpat Brahman. Few people cast allegation that these Pashu yajnas started quite off late, and initially there was no such provision. So I would like to tell you, I've already shown the mantra of Shukla Yajurveda, which is used to offer the animal which is used to sacrifice the animal. And all the mantras in Shukla Yajurveda are in due proper order. Means from Chaturmas, Nirud, Pashubali, if required, one can read the Shukla Yajurveda standard commentary of Mahidhar, and you will see that. And even for Tattri, Krishna Yajurveda Tattri Samhita Sayan has written commentary. So in this manner only all the mantras are given. It starts with Darsh Purnmaseshti, which is basic yajna which has to be done by Agnihotri. And then it goes up to Satra also. Various Satra also covered everything. Ashwamedha, all the continuous chapters are chapter by chapter. Means superior yajnas are given in ascending order. And then mantras also are given in the same order. As I said that if suppose Panchopchar Puja, Kalp has to be written, so Gandham Samarpayami, Pushpam Samarpayami, Dhupam Samarpayami, Deepam Samarpayami, Naivedyam Samarpayami. In the same manner, mantras are written here. So this evidence is enough. And for the time, this is the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. And Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, these Karmakand are mentioned in quite detail. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is quite old Upanishad. Shatpat Brahmana. Shatpat Brahmana tells about how to do the yajna. So Shukla Yajurveda and Krishna Yajurveda has a difference. Shukla Yajurveda is called Shukla Yajurveda because Brahmana and Sanghita part are different. And Krishna Yajurveda is called as Krishna Yajurveda because Brahmana and Sanghita are mixed in it. They are not segregated. So in Shukla Yajurveda, they are segregated. So Madhyandin and Kama, there are two Shatpat Brahmana available right now. So in Shukla Yajurveda, if you would read, if you would see the Shatpat Brahmana, you would see that all the mantras, the rituals associated to mantras are given, what has to be done. And Shalo Sutras are SOP. So it shall not be mixed together. So Agni Chain, I would give an example of Agni Chain by which I could show that Maharshi Yagyavalkya, who properly arranged the Shatpat Brahman, has given some directions regarding what Pashu shall be sacrificed. So Agni Chain is a ritual. It's a gateway between from to Adhyat from Karmakand. After Agni Chain, Yogi Sadhak rises to a level where he could go to the level of Antar Sadhana, I must say, inner sadhana, which is very famous right now. People say that, okay, I read Upanishad. Reading Upanishad would do nothing. There is very beautiful, very good example here. Bhagwan Shri Krishna gave Upadesh of Bhagavad Gita to Arjun. What Arjun attained? After his death, he went to Swarga, heaven. He did not attain moksha. Arjun did not attain moksha. He went to Swarga. And he was given Bhagavad Gita Upadesh by Bhagwan Shri Krishna himself. Who else other than Shri Krishna is biggest authority on Bhagavad Gita? No one in this world. This is Bhagavad Gita, means what Bhagwan said, the song which is sung by Bhagwan himself. And who is Bhagwan? Shri Krishna is Bhagwan. He himself sang that song, and Arjun did not attain the moksha. Why? Because his chitta was not shuddha. His chitta was not shuddha. So those who think that, okay, reading Upanishad and learning and cramming Upanishad and then this, that, no, it is not possible. Karma shall be done. Karma in proper manner. So Gita also gives updesh on karma. These karma has to be done. Bhagwan Shri Krishna himself says that even if I am free from all the karmas, I do the karma. When he says, Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. Vraj, this is verb. He says that, okay, you come to me. So there also karma is there. So these karma, among these, so the gateway from this karma kant to Adhyatma is Agni Chain. In Agni Chain, all the kind of Agni, there are 5 Agni in which Agnihotra, whose Agniyadhan is done by Agnihotri, and then there are various other Agnis which are invoked during various yajnas. So all the Agnis are brought together, and a Shenachiti means flying Yagyavedi, Yagyakundal of the shape of flying falcon is made. And on one side, Uttarvedi is made. And in that Uttarvedi, Pancha Pashu Yag is done. Pancha Pashu Yag means 5 skulls of 5 animals are buried in that Uttarvedi. So there was huge debate before Maharshi Yagyavalkya that what are those 5 animals whose head shall be buried. Few said snake, some said golden animal shall be there. Then Maharshi Yagyavalkya said that there shall be Prajapatya Pashu and Vayaviya Pashu. This is what he has said. And this Shatpat Brahman is old, older than Mahatma Buddha. Older than Mahatma Buddha. There are various types of chiti. Few people also say that, okay, the Tantra mark started quite of late, and during Vedic era, there was no Tantra Vidhan. So in Shatpat Brahman only, various kind of chiti are given. See, in Tantra mark, there are three kind of prayog. Shantik, Paustik, and Abhicharik. Shantik karma means suppose there is some planetary disturbance in someone's family. Planetary disturbance. Shantik karma can be done. Paustik karma, someone is not able to get the job, or he's not getting married, or he does not have son, he wants to build home. Some Paustik karma can be done. So that is Paustik karma. And to kill the enemy, to distract enemy, to these kind of karma are known as Avichar karma. These are known as Avichar karma. So if you will see here, if they are written in Hindi, I can read Pashu Chanda Chiti, for to attain the Swarg Shen Chiti is there, for Unnati Kank Chiti is made, for fame, Alaj Chiti is made for to kill the enemy, Praug Chiti or Rath Chakra Chiti is made, and Prajat Shatru Nash means family enemy, to kill family enemy. Then even Pitri Lok Samadhi Shmashan Chiti is also there. So those who say that Shmashan Sadhana is Avedic shall know this thing. Even in Shraut Yagyas also, Katyayana Shraut Sutra clearly says, Katyayana Shraut Sutra, which is SOP of Shraut Yagya, says that Purodash or Bali of Rudra shall be offered in Ashmashan. And after offering that Rudra Bhag, and while coming back, Yajman and others shall not look back. So this kind of provision is there since Vedic time. Ashmashan, this Ashmashan sadhana, this thing. So those who say that this has come off late and Ashmashan is not good, something, they are unaware of our true Vedic system. So I have taken example of Yagyavalkya Shatpat Brahman because Shatpat Brahman is most authoritative Brahman scripture of Karmakand part of a Ved, and it clearly talks about the type of animal which shall be used. And in Katyayana Shraut Sutra, other scriptures also which are quite old in nature show that Pashubali is happening. So those who say that, first of all, it is Avedic, so it is not Avedic at all. Mantras are there in Ved, and then it is happening since long. No one can authoritatively tell that when Shatpat Brahman was written, because it is said that Maharshi Vedavyas divided Ved into various parts. When he has divided into various parts, means Samhitas and in basically 4 parts. So mantras which are read during Rigveda, procedural mantras are given in Yajurveda. Then Samved has Avahan mantras, and Atharved talks about Prayashchit, etc. So in Vedic system we have so many things. Another then in Vedanta also accepts this thing. So in Brahma Sutra is divided into 4. Vedanta is Vedanta Sutra. Like we have Mimamsa Sutra, the same way we have Vedanta Sutra. So Vedanta is known as Uttar Mimamsa. Pur Mimamsa is Karma, and Uttar Mimamsa is Adhyatma. Antar sadhana, to realize the self. After, as it is mentioned in Upanishad that Avidyaya Mrityum Tirtha Avidyaya Amritam Ashnute. So Adi Shankaracharya says that while living in this world, we do the karma. He calls these karmas avidya, because we have to, because they are not true, because they have limited, they have some limits in terms of result. Their results are time based, means, and not eternal. So that's why they are avidya. So avidya mrityum tirtha avidya amritam shrute means till the time you are in this world, do your karma, and once you would give up this body, Jaya Amritam Ashnute, this Vidya. Which Vidya? Brahma Vidya. Where Brahma Vidya? Upanishad Vidya. The Vidya which is in Upanishad would liberate you. Avidya Amritam Ashnute. You would consume Amrit. Avidya Amritam Ashnute. So Avidya Mrityum Tirtha. So you surpass the death by Avidya. Means by Karma Kand, you would surpass the death. Fear of death would go away by this Karma Kand, because the Chitta would become Shuddha. Then what would happen? After death, you would liberate. After death, you would liberate. So that is one thing. And then in Brahma Sutra, there are Brahma Sutra which has 4 chapters which are Avirodha, Samanvay, Sadhana, and Phaladhyaya. So in Sadhana Adhyaya, all these 4 chapters are divided into four quarters, which is known as Pad. So first Pad means first quarter of Sadhana. The first Pad of Sadhana Adhyaya has a 25th Sut which says Ashuddham iti chinna shabdat. Means Bali is Ashuddh, it shall not be said. Bali is Ashuddh, it shall not be said. And Adi Shankaracharya accepts the same thing. He says, Yat punaruktam pashu hinsadi yogad ashuddham adhvarikam karma tasya nishtamapi phalam avakalpat. Those who say that pashu hinsa means Pashubali during adhvarik karma means yajna. Adhvar means yajna. So one who does yajna is known as adhvaryu. Who monitors the yajna is known as adhvaryu. Above adhvaryu there is Brahma. Brahma is these are position designations. Brahma, Adhvaryu, Udgata, Pratiprasthata. There are so many. No? So Ritvik, so many designations are there. So Adhvaryu. So one who does yajna is Adhvaryu. So, and during Adhvar means during yajna. Those who says that this is Pashu Hinsa, so they are ultimately acquiring sin only. And what he says? He says that Vedikam Shishter Anushtiyamanatvat Anindamanatvatcha Ten Natasya Pratirupam Halam Jati Sthavartvam. It is said that if you kill an animal, if suppose you kill an animal, then what would happen if you would kill an animal? You would take birth in the form of a tree. Specifically like barley, which are consumed by other human beings. For the sin that you consume the meat. But for Shraut Vidhi, it is not there. Exception is there. So if someone is given any medicine for some specific, for depression, etc. So if person is under depression, so the medicine would work for him. But if suppose some healthy person takes those medicines, that medicine would be like a drug abuse. It would be like a drug abuse. So same way here also, the Bali is done, but now the fact is that Bali is done, but animal is not killed for eating purpose. Animal is, because whatever is available in this world, everything is offered. Shivadya Niparintam Brahmadit Sanyutam Kalagniti Shivantam Jagat Yagan Tripyatu. In the case of king, as I have mentioned, kings offer the Bali of enemies during war. All that, whatever is available, that is offered in the yajna. And this shows that ultimately when they are offered in Agni and only ashes are left, it triggers something in consciousness which shows that okay, whatever was there, so only ashes are there. So this continuous process would refine the Chetana, and should the Chetana would invoke. So these are the processes. So Adi Shankaracharya also promotes. Few people say that Adi Shankaracharya stopped Bali in this mandir, that mandir. Why he would stop? He himself promotes. In Vedanta Sutra, he says, Shastracha hinsanugrahadhyatmako jyotishtomo dharma ityavadharita sakatham ashuddham it shakyate. When Shastra says that, when Shastra promotes, he says, Shastracha hinsanugrahadhyatmako jyotishtomo dharma ityavadharita. He says that when during dharma the Shastras, when Shastra say that this Bali Hinsa is can be done during Jyotishtom, it is based on dharma. Then how it could be Ashuddha? How it could be Ashuddha? Shastracha Hinsan Grahadhyatmako Jyotishtomo Dharma Ityavadharita Sakatham Ashuddham iti Shakyate Vaktum. That is what Adi Shankaracharya says. Few people say that Adi Shankaracharya stopped Bali in this mandir, that mandir, here mandir. Why he would do so? He says that as per Shastra this is correct. Apavado ayamcha agni shomyam pashumala bhed iti utsarga apavado ayoscha. Every means this entire passage says the same thing. This entire passage is in the same line. Ramanujacharya adds a writer here in this Sri Bhashya. Sri Bhashya, he says that if a Bali is done with anurag, means what? with a desire, like, okay, I am doing yajna for the sake of Swarga, then certainly a person would die and then take birth in the form of these creatures. That is his thought. But Nishkam Sadhana, there is no such issue. In present day, Swami Raghavacharya Ji Maharaj, who is from the lineage of Bhagwan Ramanujacharya, has openly mentioned this thing in his public discourse, that there are few yagyas, in which Bali could be given. There are few yagyas in which Bali could be given. But that it shall be for Nishkam Sadhana. That is his rider. Otherwise, Adi Shankaracharya, then Yagyaval, then Jaimini, Vedavyas himself has written Brahma Sutra, Ashuddham iti Chetan Chenna Shabdat, Veda, then various other Siddha Mahapurushas have continuously accepted this thing. In present era also, Param Puja Sri Swamiji Maharaj Datiyan Dharma Samrat Karpatni Ji Maharaj. There is a book published known as Guru Vansha Purana. It is published from Jalandhar, and it has it talks about Karpatri Ji Maharaj, and it says that Abhishek Diksha of Karpatri Ji Maharaj was done by Sri Swamiji Maharaj Datiya, and his Diksha Nam Shodashanandanath was given by Sri Swamiji Maharaj. And it is a fact that Sri Karpatri Ji Maharaj used to visit Datiya, and he took mantra of Bhagavati Sri Baglamukhi also from Sri Swamiji Maharaj, and he had a great respect for Sri Swamiji Maharaj. Both Siddha Mahapurushas have accepted the Bali Vidhan, be it for Tantric purpose or Shraut or Nigamagam, whatever purpose. But both of them has accepted. And going at Sri Swamiji Maharaj, as I have mentioned earlier, he has written that since the time Bali was stopped at various places. First, India was invaded by Yavans, and then India was invaded by Britishers. And now it is said that wherever we are left with this ritual, because those who are doing Bali are not compelling anyone, you shall also come and do it. The way others say you stop doing it. Are they saying it? And another thing is that they are not sacrificing any such animal which is endangered species. Like they are not sacrificing lion, tiger, hippopotamus, snake, deer, bear. They sacrifice goat. And in this country only, those who are Hindus, there are a lot of Hindus. I think around 50% Hindus consume meat. So that is what Dr. Saab has initially said. He has given example of Kerala also. Here in Hindu Dharma, it is very clearly mentioned. There is clear demarcation. Bali and Vad. Vad is illegal. Vad is illegal. Vad shall never be done. But Bali is different thing. It is a purposeful process, specifically for kings, for nation. These things are done. Sthan Devata has to be satisfied. Grama Devata has to be satisfied. Kula Devata has to be satisfied. Tam Vaishnavi Valgana Mutkarami. This is mantra of Yajurveda. For that purpose, this is done. And we have already seen that right from Veda Vyas and even before, and then up to present day also. All the Siddha Mahapurushas accept that this Bali Vidhan, and Shastra Praman is also there for Vedic Vidhan, that Bali shall be done. In other traditions, we come across a huge criticism in terms of Buddhism. Actually, see, when Britishers invaded India, they were more intelligent than Mughals and other invaders who were previous invaders. Mughals, etc., thought that if they will destroy the mandir, Hindus would convert. But it required. When the temples were destroyed, Hindus became more united. So what Britishers did? They made acts like temples shall be acquired. Started from Tamil Nadu, that temples shall be controlled by government. Process and rituals shall be purified. What they did? They stopped when temples were the place where education was given to priests. Schools were run, and for all communities, the schools were there. If you read Kautili Arthashastra, you will find that there were schools for every single kind of skill. Like present day government is doing skill development Even ministry is there for skill development. So that time there are specific schools for skill development. If you will read, even ministries were there for specific skills in that time. So Kautilya Arthashastra is very significant document to read. Even today also Ashwamedha etc. are there, in which how a horse shall be kept, okay, how stable shall be maintained, that is given there. So first they captured the temple, they stopped our traditional study process, and that's why we are not aware of Mimamsa Sutras. And then they gave a parallel to Hinduism. Okay, Buddha is great and greater and greatest. They tried to draw, and they were even successful also in drawing a line just to show. But if you will read Buddha as what he says, you will find that Buddha is not what the way he is represented. So in Sutta Nipal, Brahmana Dhammik Sutta is there. In Brahmana Dhammik Sutta, it is said, Na pasu Brahmana nasum, na hiranyam, na dhaniyam, sanjaya dhanjansu, brahmanidhim upalayu. It is said that Buddha was against Veda. The basic and very first thing which is said is that Buddha was against Veda. It is not true. Here Buddha says brahmanidhim upalayu. What is brahmanidhi? Brahmanidhi is a synonym of Veda. He says that Brahmans, he talks about Brahmans of earlier time, before Kali Yuga, how they were. They do not have pashu, they do not have gold, they do not have food grains, and their life was dedicated to protect the Brahmanidhim only. Then, very important thing which comes up here is that Yatha Mata Pita Bhata Anje Vapi Yanchaka Gavo Na Uno Parmo Mitta Yasu Jayanti Osudha. He says that they used to respect cow the way father, mother, brother, etc. respected, because they all are caused behind Oshadhi. Oshadhi means one-time crop. Here Oshadhi means one-time crop. Sukhamala Mahakaya Vana Vanto Yasastino Brahmana Sehi Dhamme Kitche Usuka Yavaloke Avit Avatinsu Sukhamedhit Tyayam Paja. So he says that such Brahmans were Yashasvi, and their Kaya was Sukh Swarup, and by their virtuous acts, Praja was also happy. Sukhamedhityayam Paja. Even in Majjhim Nikaya, Mahatma Buddha says that amongst Yagyas, Agnihotra is supreme. Amongst all the Yagyas, Agnihotra is supreme. And amongst all the Chand, Gayatri Chand is supreme. That is what he has mentioned there. He mentions clearly this thing there. Actually, the problem is Tripitaka is not read. We do not read Tripitaka. We have third or fourth hand information about Mahatma Buddha. He never gave up Hindu dharma. He had a few problems with society. The problem was that at that time kings were so powerful in India that they had nothing to do. So the only thing which they were doing was that to downside, to do pump and show with respect while doing big Yagyanushthan, and then to, what shall I say, then to fight with each other. To fight with each other. So that's why he said, don't fight. Don't fight. That ahimsa, he said, his ahimsa is not related to eating habit. If you will read his life and times, which is given in Tripitaka only, you will find that Mahatma Buddha died because of consuming rotten meat. He died because he consumed rotten meat. It's given in Tripitaka only, somewhere. I've seen that flow, but because we do not have enough time, so I was not able to find that. If someone will read with Hindi translation, that is published from Kashi, so one can read it other places also. So he was not against that kind of hinsa. Even in Mahayana, if you will see, Bali etc. is quite common. They do Panchamakar. Chinachar has Chinachar. What is Chinachar? Whatever Achar is done, Panchamakar sadhana, that is done in Tibet. Chin is Tibet, Trivishta Padam Sulbhan Vante Adi Shankaracharya ji says. Trivishta Padam Sulbhan, Trivishta means Tibet. So there, whatever they do is in Chinachar. So they also offer these things in their yajna. Buddha himself used to consume. His ahimsa was related to fight, wars, and he was fed up of pomp and show on the name of yajna. He believed in simplicity. Buddha believed in simplicity. His life was simple. Because if suppose you will also experience that if you, as much as resources you would collect, your life would become complicated. If you will remember the time of COVID, when we were locked in our home, a lot of us have lost our very nears and dears in that time, and that makes our heart cry. But the fact is that at that time, when we had limited resources, somehow our mind was peaceful. So as much resource you would collect, you would gather trouble only. So he believed in simplicity. He believed in living in self. Sujata came and offered him kheer, payasam. Okay. If someone is Kaul, he can easily understand. And then Mahayana sadhaks still perform those rituals for liberation. Sujata was Shakti herself who came. And you will see this thing in an entire India. Right? Not only her, Adi Shankaracharya. I read about Adhut Bhagwan Ram, Sri Swamiji Maharaj. You will see that there are numerous siddhas who were starving, and then Devi came and offered him kheer. There are a number of such examples available in our society. This starts in Buddha, you can see in the Buddha, and then other also in previous times also such examples are available. Before Buddha also such examples are available. When Devi came in form of some woman and offered something to eat, and then Jnana Siddhi happened. She was Sakshat Sharda, Sujata. If you will read it, and then it is in Tripitaka only, it is mentioned that once he acquired the knowledge, truth, he became Buddha. Brahma told him to distribute his knowledge across the world, and then he went to Kashi. That time, Sarnath, that time Sarnath was known as Rishi Pattan, means port where rishis live. And then he gave his first 4 Upadesh. So such a Buddha, who has such kind of thinking for Hindu dharma and Brahman system, everything, was never against these Shrautaka. He was against the exaggeration and over expensiveness. He was against show off, which was in terms of these yagyas, and then in terms of war, just wage a war just to show someone that you are not equal to me, you are lower than me, for that purpose. So he stopped that thing that time. He gave a very specific solution, which was very important for that particular period of time. In Christianity, here in India, Dr. Saab has already covered this thing earlier also. In Kochi, there is a church where they have sacrificed the bird. So in other religions, it is there. In other religion, it is already there. In Islam, we have a Bakrid, Eidul Ajha. Aj means goat. So Prajapati Aj and Vayavi Aj. These are 2 names. When Yagyavad classified the animal which would be used for Panch Pashu Yag, he said Prajapati Aj or Vayavi Aj. What is Aj? Aj means goat. So Eidul Ajha. Ha means to cut. So this is Sanskrit word Ajha. Ajha is Sanskrit word. Eidul Ajha. This is Sanskrit word, but that which is known as Bakri. So they also are doing sacrifice. In Jainism, the real non-violence is from Jainism only. Even Shwetambar Munis, if you will see that, you will find that they cover their mouth. They will not even they will drink water directly from well or directly from pump, as they say. I heard when Muniji was giving a beautiful discourse. I heard him. He was telling all these things. They will not cut vegetable in night. Shwetambars would cover their mouth so that because maybe some insect may enter in their mouth and that may die. So such a high degree of non-violence is there. But in Jainism also, when the nation is in trouble, everyone has right to protect. And they also accept this thing. In Sri Bhairav Padmavati Kalpa, it's a Jain scripture. Bhairav Padmavati Kalpa, it's a Jain scripture. Sri Mallasena Suri Virchak. This is supreme amongst agams of Jain religion. There are various other agams also. It is said that when the nation is in great trouble, yes, you can protect the nation. You can raise, you can take up weapon. I would not read I would not do translation because I have immense respect for this because we have such a beautiful tradition here in India. Shringi रक्ताभ्याम नृकपाल पुटे लिखेत, नृकपाल पुटे लिखेत, प्रेतास्थि चातलेखन्याः, प्रेतास्थि चातलेखन्याः, यस्थाने तु नभो अक्षरम, श्मशाने निखरेद रोषात्, कृत्वा तद् भस्म पूरितम, करोति तत्कुलोच्चाटम वैरिणा सप्तरात्रता. This would do uchatana vairy in 7 nights. If suppose someone is attacking on your country and your country is destroyed, then what would happen? How many Jain rishis are? There are great Jain sthans in Pakistan. Then in Bangladesh also there are places. Jain mandir are there in Pakistan. There are historic Puranic mandir are there. But what is happening there? No one is left. Now they are used as toilet. There in Pakistan. But what is happening? So if suppose such attack happens, so yes, you have right to protect your dharma. You would be able to follow the dharma only when you would be able to protect it. Otherwise, there is no other chance to protect the dharma.
Thank you, Mishraji. That was a very wonderful explanation of the scriptural and traditional backing for Pashubali. And as we mentioned, like a orthodox and unbroken tradition right from the Vedic period to the modern times. Now, I would like to say that this was the first part of the talk. The second part, which will be shorter, is going to be Mishraji responding to some common criticisms of Pashubali in the modern era. I would definitely like to mention specifically one person, Rajarshi Nandi, who has been kind of fighting this fight on a solo stance from YouTube and other media for a couple of years now. And of course, Raghavacharya ji and other Dharma gurus have, of course, spoken in favor of it. But as far as people who are talking towards the youth in English, Rajarshi has some very good content. I urge you all to look at that as well. And so we will try to cover a few other questions which are not commonly addressed in the other talks. And we will try to keep it quick and to the point. And hopefully this will help, not necessarily in a official debate, but more when at least trying to counter friends and family and acquaintances who may be arguing against Pashubali. So we've already mentioned this before, that many people often say that Pashubali is only because you want to eat that meat, and that people are doing it only to satisfy their appetites. So Mishraji, what would we say for that?
The Shastras themselves, as I mentioned, Adi Shankaracharya and Brahma Sutra. This is the shlok. Mansa bhakshana matrena hi mansa bhakshana matrena yada punya gatir bhavet loke mansashina sarve punya bhajo bhavanti hi. If consumption of meat only would give you punya gati, then entire world consumes meat, and all those in the world who consume meat would get punya. So the fact is, killing and sacrifice, they are two different things. Doing sacrifice during yajna is very important. And then other than that, even if you see any such thing happening, means what is going on, and you see that, then that would incur the sin. It says, Suradarshan matrin kurya suryavalokanam tat samagrana matrin pranayam trayam chiret. If suppose you see someone is eating the meat, if you suppose you see someone eating the meat, then you shall do pranayam thrice. So it is like, it's a part of yajna. So this is the thing where the confusion happens. People say that, okay, Shastras say that, okay, if suppose someone eats the meat, how we can get liberation, or these things, that thing. So the fact is, Bali is different and killing is, Vad is different thing. These rules are for Vad. Adi Shankaracharya also explains the same thing in his commentary. If you do the Vad, then certainly it will acquire sin, incur sin. But if suppose you do Bali, then that Bali is part of some yajna process. For example, there are various medicines which consume animal parts. Cod liver oil tablets are there. Cod liver oil tablets are there. So and many other medicines, antidote which is made for snake bite, etc., as snake venom, and various other medicines have bones, etc., in it. So, but that is for the sake of health. It does not mean that you kill all the fishes of the world or consume all of them for the sake of cod liver oil. It does not mean. It's within specific limit. And there is one more thing. In Sanatan Dharma, egg is considered more heinous than flesh, and onion also. They are again, onion are considered equal to beef in Sanatana Dharma.
And the other common criticism that people make is that these words were used like in a metaphorical sense, like, the Pashu is within you that you have to kill, or it's a mistranslation of modern people, and that you're misunderstanding what the Vedas are originally saying. And, oftentimes this may come from people who have very much expertise in the language, but may not have as much experience with the actual traditions that are being practiced in the temples and by the parampara. So, Mishraji, what is your response to those allegations?
As far as interpretation is done, Sayan has interpreted the same thing. I have Sayan commentary. He interprets the same thing. His commentary is considered a supreme commentary on Veda. On Yajurveda, on Krishna Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda, it is commentary of Mahidhar. He also accepts the same thing. Before Mahidhar and Sayar, there's Adi Shankaracharya. He also accepts the same thing. Badarayan also accepts the same thing. Yagyavalk accepts the same thing. Veda Vyas also accepts the same thing. So first you draw the line, what is modern and what is modern interpretation. Adi Shankaracharya is not modern for me. Yagyavalk also is not modern for me. Veda Vyas is not modern for me. And the way, in the sequence, the mantras are given in Yajurveda. For Nirud Pashu, entire chapter is there for Nirud Pashu. How animal is brought in the Yajurveda, where it is tied, who would sit where in that, and what mantra would be recited at what point of. Entire SOP is available. Katyan Shraut Sutra. These yagyas have happened before Buddha. Buddha has talked about them. Mahabharata and Ramayana has mention of Bhagwan Ram performed Ashwamedha. Even before that also, if you, Vayu Purana is very important to understand the lineage of kings and Brahmins of India. This is most authentic history of Brahmins and kings of India. It is mentioned that some Trishanku, Maharishi Vasishtha asked king to bring, father of Trishanku, to bring some flesh for the animals for the sacrifice. But amongst them, this Trishanku consumed one animal, and then his father discarded him from his family. Why? The same thing which we were mentioning, that Bali and Vad are different. So for the sake of satiating his hunger, he consumed one animal amongst them. Then Maharishi Vasishtha said, okay, now these are Amed, these have become Amed or are ineligible for Yajna, these Pashus. Then king discarded his own son Trishanku. Then another, he went to Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra's wife was selling her son while tying rope across his neck. So as he tied a rope across his neck, he became Galo and Galo. Then Vishwamitra said, okay, I will make Swarga for you. All these stories are there. So these are examples, Puranic examples of Bhagwan Ram performed Ashwamedha. Yudhishthir performed Rajsuya, then Ashwamedha. These yagyas cannot be done without Bali. Ashwamedha means Ashw is offered. And there is story that Ashwa went to forest and the Lava Kush captured the Ashwa in case of, and then in this thing, Mahabharata, Bhagwan Shri Krishna was again charioteer and Arjun was driving through the various parts, and at Manipur he did marriage with a princess of Manipur who belonged to Methi community only. So they all perform. So where would you put the demarcation? Okay, this is modern. Rather, I say that modern interpretations are wrong.
Yes, absolutely.
They try to make it metaphorical. See, metaphorical is there. Even in Brihadaranyaka, where metaphorical explanation is there, it is said that when Prajapati's body swelled, and I do not know if swell is present, past, and participle, it is correct, swelled, swollen, whatever, I do not remember exactly. When his body swelled, he did and became Ashwa. He did yajna with that. It is very similar story like, okay, Allah asked to keep his son, and when he was about to cut his son, a goat was kept, and since then Bakrid is celebrated to commemorate that day. And then while doing that Ashwamedha, it is king gets to realize that, okay, I conquered entire world, and this Ashwa is my trophy, and this is offered in the yajna, and everything would turn into ashes. So he sees this thing practically happening in front of him. He sees that his entire earning is going into fire and is going to burn. Nothing would be left. So what would be there in the mind? That time the mind would think that nothing is real except Paramatma. I am Atma Brahma. This thought would occur then. I am Atma Brahma. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Tattvamasi. Aham Brahmasmi. These four Mahavakyas would quiver in his heart. For that purpose, this year gives them. So this timeline, who says modern interpretations are wrong? Earlier interpretations, since whatever means oldest is Brihadaranyaka in Yajurveda, everywhere the Yajnavali, in Atharvaveda, it is clearly mentioned, okay, Prayashchit, if suppose this thing happens wrong, then do this Prayashchit. Prayashchit mantras are given, rituals are given. So where would you put the demarcation?
Yes, makes sense. That's, I think, a very, very good summary and how we should approach that question. So then other people say Pashubali is no longer necessary, that, we can get by with just using replacement like, cake of rice or lemon bali, and that, true religion cannot be of killing animals, or some people say Pashubali has been superseded now. Like maybe it used to be done back in those old days, but now, our devtas are kind and they don't want to lead any more Pashubali. Then they say like, oh, actually, if you read more Puran, Mahabharata, Ramayana, they're all against Pashubali. So how should we respond to something like that?
See, first thing is whether devtas were cruel at that time and now they have become kind. I do not think so. Devta is Devta. Devta, Devadhatu, there are six meanings of Devadhatu. Satat Jain Shi is Devta, I mean Vijay supremacy, the one who has supremacy, Satat Jain Shi, Vijay is there, that is Devta. Omnipresent, that is Devta. Six meanings are there.
So instead of thinking that we have changed, they prefer to think that Devta has
kindness
changed.
Only. G, it's not about cruelty and kindness only. Second thing is lemon and rice. So lemon also has life. Lemon also has life.
Bilkul. Yes.
Lemon also, rice does not have, okay, that's another thing, but lemon also has life. All, see, the ecosystem the God has made is in such a manner that a living being would survive only when it would consume another living being. We consume trees. We are herbivorous. Few are carnivorous. Can we stop lion to eat? If suppose somehow we do it, that lion would not eat now, okay, some genetical changes are done, what would happen? Your entire house would be infected by snakes and rats. And human race would disappear from this earth within 100 years or within 50 years.
Yes.
Snakes will bite you. Even I tell you, in farmhouses, what we see is that when few years ago, when an animal would die, vultures would eat it within few hours. They will consume entire animal, only skeleton would remain. Now vultures are not there. So it's hard to decompose the dead bodies of animals. Cattles. And we cannot sell that cattle. We cannot eat the cattle. We have religious Gavo Vishwasya Matara. That concept is there. So we have already disturbed ecosystem. And the ecosystem is like one animal would survive, when living being would survive only when it would consume another living being. In that manner, if you look at it, it's not about cruelty. So cruelty is there. That's why it is said that minimal. The rider is at minimal. Like if suppose fishing is banned throughout, what would be the option to get cod liver oil? And then there are various medicines which consume animal parts. And various entire leather industry, what would happen to that? Entire leather industry.
In fact, I think your point that the ego that is making people think that the devtas have changed or whatever, when they are the ones who actually changed over the centuries.
That is ignorance. The clear meaning and significance, importance is not there in the mind.
Yes.
Suppose I tell you, Ashwamedha has happened in India since time immemorial. Is it that race of horse has disappeared on this earth? Or Prajapatya Aj or Vayavi Aj? Even everywhere, wherever you would see that digging has happened, even near Raebareli, I live in Raebareli, nearby so many places are there where digging happened and Shane Chiti was found. So certainly Agni Chayan happened there. When Agni Chayan happened, is it that entire race of goats has disappeared on the earth? It is because all these things were done responsibly. Otherwise, entire race would vanish.
Yes.
No such animal would exist.
In fact, it is the opposite side of these activists who, in fact, a fringe minority of them are actually talking about plans to, like you were saying, genetically engineer animals to stop eating each other and all that. But they don't think through the second order and third order consequences of what would happen if you made a carnivorous animal stop all predation. As you said, the entire ecosystem's balance will be destroyed, and all of us will be destroyed along with it because of the unchecked ego of a small minority of people who think that morality is on their side.
Correct. Dr. There are two systems working parallelly here. One is that which wants to enforce this thing what you have said, genetically changing the carnivores into herbivores. Another is acting systematically against Hinduism. They are picking out every single important thing from Hinduism, and they try to they are almost successful in setting in mind that Buddha was not Hindu. If you read Tripitaka, Buddha is directed by Brahma himself, or you say even if requested, then Brahma requests him. No other god comes from anywhere. When he becomes a Buddha, from Gautam he becomes a Buddha. Brahma comes and tells him, okay, you distribute knowledge to the world. It is given in Tripitaka, and Tripitaka was composed within few years of his Mahanirvana. Buddha was every inch Hindu, and Buddhism evolved after 100 years. This Buddhism, what as a religion separate. His Antim Sanskar happened, he was sitting in Padmasana, all those things. So a system is acting against Hinduism specifically to remove every single important thing which strengthens Hindus. Non-violence is there, but then right to protect self is also there.
Yes, that's an excellent point to be made. And so the other question, Mishraji, as you already know, like they ask, how can a god request somebody to kill? Like, how's Mother Devi's mother? How can she accept anybody killing her children? What should we think about that?
Jagdamba is Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. She is creator, operator, and destroyer. She only gives birth, and while becoming Kali, she only takes away the life. This is concept of Sanatan Dharma, of Shakta Sampradaya. Is that okay, Dr. Sam?
Yes, absolutely. So
while
this is
being
another...
Sundari, while being Tripur Sundari, she is giving birth. While being Kamkala Kali, she is giving birth. And while being Ashmashan Kali and Tara, she is taking us away from this birth, from this earth. So she only is operating this entire cycle. And if you with this aspect, if you would see, you would find that even if Bali is not given, she is doing this thing. Bali is a representation of that thing.
So and once again, the misunderstanding is ignorance.
Okay. That is misunderstanding.
Yes.
Otherwise, if suppose, then one shall not offer food grains also, because she is mother of plants also. Jagdamba is mother of plants also. Even she is mother of air also.
Yes.
Water, don't offer water also, because water has very small means bacteria and insect microbial living beings might be there in the water, so don't offer water also. She is Jagdamba. She is mother of plants also. So this actually such questions are raised to think you in different manner, so that you start leaving Hindu Dharma. This is strategic attack, Dr. Saab.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with protection of animal. PETA never comes up with any ad and something on this Bakri. You would not see any ad against church. Flesh and wine is served Sunday Mass in various churches. Is that true or not? You live in Western country, I live here in Raebareli. Flesh and wine is served on Mass, Sunday Mass. In various countries. Somewhere bread is served, somewhere flesh and wine is served. How flesh has come?
Yes.
It's of animal.
Yes. So again, like a very
But
targeted and
huh,
hypocritical.
that is target. These are paid. These are paid by missionaries. I read somewhere, we discussed this also, that we are talking logically and they are sharpening their weapons against us. We will keep on giving logics and they will kill ourselves. So what they are doing, they are like, if suppose they are trying to destroy Hinduism thread by thread. If suppose you have to destroy a blanket or a shawl, anything which is very precious shawl. So one way is to burn it, or another way is to keep destroying a thread one day. And within few years, that entire shawl would be destroyed. And they are successful a lot. Even Hindus also say these things. How mother say mother. Then Shiva is a Rudra. He is Sangharak. Bhagwan Shiva is Sanghar Karta. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Shiva is a Sanghar Karta. Brahma is creator and Shakti is Saraswati. Vidya is required for creation. In the state of ignorance, you cannot create. Lakshmi is Vishnu Shakti, because for living in this world, Lakshmi is required. And there are Ashta Lakshmi, not Dhan Lakshmi only. Ashta Lakshmi, Raja Lakshmi, Vaibhav Lakshmi, Gaja Lakshmi, Ashta Lakshmi. Then in last, Moksha Lakshmi is also there. And in the last, Rudra is there. So Rudra is Bhagwan, he is Jagat Pita. Even in Shastras also Jagat Pita. So how he is killing? So these kind of questions are there. So why, I do not know why they ask, why they don't ask in a reverse manner, that if Allah is such almighty and everything is there, why he needs Bali? God, why God needs Bali? There shall be
Yes,
reverse
again, so
questions.
specifically only asking to Hindus for their practices.
Reverse questions are not there because we succumb. Actually, the upbringing of Hindu dharma is like, why we have so many scriptures. One day someone asked me, why do you tell me one book? I said, he was a lawyer. I said, okay, you tell me one book while reading which I can understand entire law of this world. He was shocked. Even in India also, constitution is then a CRPC, motor vehicle, this and that, and hundreds of acts and hundreds of books are there. Constitution only makes provision of those acts. But then acts have different books. Series are there. Indian Penal Code, Criminal Procedure Code, Civil Procedure Code. So many codes are there. So why you are asking that? So because we are thoughtful people. So as we are thoughtful people, they are giving us, first they removed scriptures, they snatched scriptures from our hand. They controlled the temples. Temples were the middle layer between Bhakt and Mat Gurus. So temple, now you go to any mandir which is Sarkari mandir. It has become like government office. You go, you offer, as in government office, you go, you give application and come out. Same way you go, you give your prasad and they will offer something, they will offer mala, then go out. No one is there to talk to you what you are thinking. If you have any problem or if you have any query, no one is there to answer. Previously it was there. These mandirs had their sectarian schools, which used to give education for common man, for other people, for masses. Their pravachan system was there. So this entire level has been removed. So your scriptures have been removed from your hand. You do not. How many people know Jaimini Mimamsa Sutras in India? How they would answer on questions on karma kand? So when you would not know your scriptures have been removed, how will you answer? So first they did this thing, and now they come question by question to you. Like in Kerala story, there was like in Kerala story, there was question that, okay, you tell me how Shiv could be God when he was crying for his wife. Yes, someday someone asked me a question. One of my friends asked me a question. He was watching Mahadev serial. He asked me a question. I will tell you the question. He said, can you please update me that why Shivji throw Trishul on Ganeshji? I meant another message. I meant Shivji is God. He must have known that Ganesh Ji is his son. This kind of question. So I said, Bhagwan knows everything. But for Lok Kriya, he does all these things so that word may move on. He sets examples. Disobeying father is not good. Very layman answer.
Yes. Yes, I think that's a good way to kind of tie
These
particular
questions
attack to
shall
other.
not be answered. And I tell you, in Kularano Tantram, it is mentioned that don't never discuss with atheist.
Interesting.
Muslims will never debate with you.
Because they say either accept it or go away.
Same rule is applicable for Hindus also, but they go and debate. With me, you can debate. If you are virtuous Hindu, if you have thought, we can debate.
Okay.
But hypocrisy is not allowed.
Yes.
Polygamy is not allowed. Vitandavad is not allowed. Polygamy is not allowed.
Yes. So you can discuss it only if they are approaching it from a fair position. Okay. And then other Mishraji, sometimes people say, oh, Pashubali is there, but it's meant only for these kind of not Devta, God type level beings, but it's for these Yaksha and, Pishacha and all that. They only like such bloody things. And sometimes people even make it a little bit better, like maybe these kind of villages gods, tribal gods, these kind of Devtas may take Bali, but, when the god devta is more like a transcendental superior kind of one, then they don't take bali, so they only take sattvic offering. And in a subtextual way, what they are maybe saying is that the Shakta Tantra as it is practiced now is not really Vedic, not really Hindu. Now obviously you've given a bunch of examples as to why it is definitely Vedic, but how would we respond?
See, first of all, if you say it is not Vedic, so in Yajurveda only Rudashtadhyay is there.
Yes,
and it is said that Agna Vishnu Sadishase Mam Vardantu Vam Giraha Dumnair Vaje Viragatam. Agni and Vishnu, Agni is Vishnu. Even Agnihotris are, even the family members of Agnihotris are given title of Narayan. My maternal great grandfather was Agnihotri, so his son, my maternal grandfather's name was Yajnarayana. My mama, my uncle, and then my cousins, etc., have name with Narayan title name. Because Agni is Narayana. Agna Vishnu Sadishase Mam Vardantu Vam Giraha. All these offerings are given to Agni, to Vishnu. Agni is Vishnu. It is in Ved only.
Okay.
Yajurveda.
And same thing about what Raghavacharya ji had said in his talk.
So Rudra, Rudra, so these, which god is worshipped there, right? Same god is worshipped there. Who is taking all these balis? Who is worshipped there? Rudrashtadhyay is mentioned in Katyayana Shrauta Sutra. You can see British timeline of this Katyayana Shrauta Sutra. It is older scripture. It does not mention Buddha at all. It does not mention Buddha at all.
So it is not
not
correct to say such things that when the devta is like a high level devta, then they won't take
god and
there's no
god
such
is
thing.
Not like that.
Yes.
She was even I tell you, for Saraswati it is said that sheep shall be sacrificed. In Vedic scriptures. For the sake of Vidya, during Saraswati Yaga, sheep shall be sacrificed. And I do not say this. This is written by P.V. Khan in his work Dharma Shastra. He also mentions this thing. Scriptures also talk about who is Saraswati. Saraswati is lower god or higher god?
There is no way you can say that.
For sake of Saraswati, for pleasing Saraswati, and for other devatas, other animals are there. And as far as Smashan Sadhana is, so Smashan Chiti is there. Rudra Bali is given in Smashan only. Purodash Kapal. What happened during Sati Yajna? So in autumn season, you cannot perform Rasu Yajna. It's a rule. In autumn season, you cannot perform Rasu Yajna. My name was there in my mind. Brihaspati Savyajna. So Daksha Prajapati organized Brihaspati Savyajna. And during that Yajna, he did not offer 11 Rudra Purodash Kapal. And for that purpose, only Kali came and destroyed the Yajna.
So that was the story. We didn't get the full story.
He did not give offering of Rudra there. So Rudra is minor devata or major devata? Vishnu Kapal is there, Rudra Kapal is there. Rudra is minor devata or major devata? For me, Rudra is supreme devata. I am Shaiva. For me, Vishnu is supreme devata. I am Hindu. I belong to our Ramchandra. Even today also our Adhyatmic king is Ramchandra. Everyone who lives in our thinks that Ramchandra is our king. So are they minor devata or major devata? So these are framed questions. Because we are thinkers. So that we may think otherwise also. We may think negatively.
Misdirection.
Misdirecting us. And then because we do not know scriptures, Agna Vishnu Saji, how many people know Agna Vishnu Saji? Because we are not reading. Agna Vishnu Saji, we do not know Rudra Protash Kapal is there in Vedic Yajna. We do not know Rudra Bali is given in Ashmashan Ghat.
Bilkul. That is like, at least until I spoke to you about this,
suppose
I had no idea that...
minor devata, okay, he might be telling he knows minor devata, major devata, okay, he is very intelligent person. He might be
exactly.
This is happening.
Yes. And I honestly, I read about it and I was like, okay, that seems like a reasonable argument.
Sahib talks about this thing very beautifully. There are various planted people, not only Raja Ram Mohan Roy, I do not want to name them. There are various other people who are planted to destroy Hinduism.
Yes,
now,
and I think
I tell you, Sati Pratha was specific to Bengal that time. I do not know. My great-grandmother was widow. Her mother-in-law was widow. No one became Sati. Who was stopping them? My great-grandmother. And then her mother-in-law also. This was specific problem because Bengal was very rich in terms of crops. The people were big landlords. So for the sake of property, this happened there. If someone is burned, then it is condemnable, and I also condemn because it is killing, it is sin.
Yes.
But then and framing entire system into Sati Pratha. Sati Pratha was not prevailing here. How many incidents are found here of Sati? Sahibs throws light in very specific and very beautiful manner. Systematically things were taken away from our hands.
Who are you talking about? Sorry?
Prachyam movie Sahib.
Oh, Prachyam's movie. Yes, excellent. That's a wonderful movie. Yes, absolutely.
Sahibs who never return.
Yes, I think the second one is releasing soon. So for our viewers, you should definitely watch that.
Pattavi Sitaramaiya, I do not know from where he got the quotation. And then he said that, okay, Queen was raped in Vishwanath Mandir and that's why Aurangzeb destroyed them. There is no evidence. Acha, you tell me, would Queen enter in the temple alone?
Exactly. That would never happen.
In such a big temple, such a big garbhagriha, and in daylight. Is it possible?
Very, very sly attempts to paint the whole culture as bad.
I know a renowned Brahman of Kashi who was paid 10 lakh to say that Brahman used to consume beef.
My goodness.
I know him. I do not want to name him. And Karpatri ji cursed him. He said, you have told a lie and I curse you that your family would not progress. He had one daughter only. She got married and she also do not had any child. He was paid to say this thing that Brahmins used to consume beef. So thread by thread, they are trying to destroy, and they have already distorted a lot.
Yes.
Because we do not read our scripture and we feel inferior.
Absolutely. And Smashan Sadhana and all that will be the next thing they attack.
Which religion in this country does not have caste system? In Islam, it is more bitter. In Islam, it is more bitter. In Christianity, I can show you in these colleges, they will say that, okay, one who follows a specific church only can apply. Is it caste system or not? But the questions are raised on us only.
And I think when you look at it in a broader perspective, like understanding the attacks made on Pashubali, for example, opens your eyes to all the other ways in which the threads are being pulled from the carpet, as you were saying.
Yes.
Like this one example can be generalized in so many ways. And then it is upon us to kind of be proactive in defending before the attack comes.
We shall be reactive, I think.
Yes. And other questions, Mishra ji, like, why shouldn't you give bali in like some gentle way? Maybe just take only
Because,
old and sick animal and poison them.
Quality of animal is mentioned in scriptures. They shall be healthy, not hinang adhikang, means they should have complete all the limbs intact, neither any extra limb nor any limb missing. And then various other qualities are there.
And how to do the bali is also specified.
How to do bali, all that thing, every single SOP is there.
And then, like, I think recently people have been saying that, if the Devta really wanted the bali, then why would they allow the law to be passed banning the bali? Maybe, the ban itself is the evidence that Devta does not want it. So how do you counter this? Like, I guess it ties into the question of, even if you did stop the bali, what would happen?
See, if the bali is stopped, since the time bali is stopped, India has become a toy in the hand of, previously it was Yavans, then Britishers, and now in the hand of seculars. And Devatas, yes, they do not want. But if, because we are living in this world, and to live here, we need to do some karma. Like for livelihood, we are doing job, etc. We have to do some adhyatmic karma also. And these adhyatmic karma strengthen ourselves.
Yes.
I tell you, I give you a timeline before Buddha and after Buddha. How many invasions are there before Buddha in the history, recorded history? Not even single. How many invasions are there?
That's true. We don't know anyone. Yes.
No example. Neither in Purana. Kalyavan attacked. Krishna defeated him and killed him. Kalyavan attacked, he was killed. But after Buddha, there are continuous invasions. Sikandar was stopped. Then continuous invasions are happening.
Yes.
You got it?
Yes.
Because
we
started resisting instead of reacting. Reaction shall be there. When enemy is attacking, reaction shall be there. When government did surgical strike, etc., attack on Pakistan, now they are sitting peacefully. And otherwise, previously, they were continuously attacking.
Yes,
so many things are there. That would be a political discussion. I do not want to enter in that.
Absolutely.
Gods do not want, that is true. Gods do not, Devi does not want bali, that is true. But for the sake of your survival, it is must.
Yes. So the gods don't care what you do, don't do.
Every single religious practice has this system.
Yeah.
It is not that we are doing something very inhuman.
Yes.
Those animals only are sacrificed which are in general consumed by others. And amongst those who are opposing, 50% would be non-vegetarian, I think.
Yeah, definitely. They will oppose it in the morning and then go to 5-star restaurant.
50% models who promote PETA are non-vegetarian. One day they would say save animal, next day they would, like Diya Mirza was saying, don't fly kites. Oh, what is that?
Don't fly kites.
They cut the limbs of birds. Next day she was, a few days after, she was seen cooking a bird.
Yeah, this is what the hypocrisy of...
Hypocrisy, yes. Propaganda hypocrisy is there. Even in Supreme Court, Justice S.A. Bobde Sahab said this thing that, okay, if we have non-vegetarian society, then how come specifically offer to Devata is restricted? It shall be reviewed. That's why he accepted the plea in Supreme Court. That Kerala Animal and Bird Sacrifices Act.
Okay. And I guess the other question that people say is like, oh, no problem. Like, so many of these temples have they stopped. A few more if you stop also, what's the big deal? Nothing will happen. You can still do and go do puja, namaskar and all that.
So see, who are you to judge? And on what parameters you are doing this judgment? That nothing has happened. Or nothing will happen.
Yes. How do you know? Yes.
So
many bad things have already happened.
So many bad
Yes.
things have already happened. And you do Pashubali, you do that kind of yajna, then you will be able to realize.
Yes. Just because you don't have the ability to detect something doesn't mean, it's not happening. Okay. And then the last thing, I guess, Mishraji, all of us, even with a little bit of knowledge about these things, we know that there are many powerful leaders, politicians who do these things in secret,
Yes.
but in public speak out against it. And I don't want to name anyone, obviously, because, even like very popular, currently in power people, one of the person may say bad things about temple and this and that and superstition, but then his wife or his son may go to the temple and do some specific big donation or
Yes,
some puja
correct.
for their welfare.
So many
So
such
what is
people are
what is
there.
going to happen with this kind of
This is
users
destroying
who don't deny?
This is, first of all, this is destroying dharma ultimately. Second thing is they do because they do not know why it is happening. That basic exegesis of philosophy of darshan of this Bali Pratha or Karma Kanda. That is why they are doing this thing.
Part of that is also ignorance. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we would like to conclude by saying that there is a petition on change.org started by Neha Srivastava about protecting Bali traditions in all temples, but specifically in the Kamakhya Devi Kamakhya Mandir in Assam. So please, if you found our talk interesting and you agree with the points that we have raised, please go ahead and add your voice. It's not much work. It's a 2-minute job. Mainly to safeguard something that people have come up with great tapasya and foresight and analysis over many millennia. So we shouldn't allow this to be washed away just on a spur of the moment emotional response that is like a temporary thing for the last few decades.